something. It's really the little engine that could, you know. When I got into it, no one was quite sure about what I was doing, choosing Sonic as my next project, but there was something sweet about it. There was something really kind of touching and lovely about this, you know, adolescent type character that's just coming into his power and enjoying all the wonderful, stupid things that are in our culture and the pop culture, and you know, just really loving the planet like none of us do anymore, you know. And it just gave us that feeling of innocence, and I was able to be the juxtaposition of that, the old guard, the people that are taking us down the tubes into a virtual world that we can no longer control. You know, I'm Robotnik. I am the controller. Toggle me.
These rings signify the commitment.
So help me, Thomas.
Sorry. Life or death situation, I need you to use the ring to save me, like right now.
That was a perfect opportunity for me to be that guy again. And I seem to run into those characters quite frequently. You know, they're offered to me a lot. The ones that are completely mad, the ones that are absolutely self-loathing and compensating for it with some false sense of confidence and superiority. That's my specialty. You know, when somebody writes that in a script, it just screams off the page, hire Jim Carrey. There's a madman in the hills. He needs something to do, somewhere to point his megalomania.
You rock some kind of space porcupine.
I am an echidna warrior.
Bigger than I thought it would be. It's deeper than I thought it would be. You know, Robotnik just gets bigger and bigger. You know, I'm a big visualizer, big affirmation guy, you know, so the joke about the secret in the movie is basically my life. So a couple of years ago, I was thinking, I'm, you know, mid-50s, and it'd be nice to kind of settle into some character that is a franchisable character, but that moves and morphs and has some place to go. He's not always the same, you know? And what happened was Robotnik, who is constantly becoming more and more of an ego and more bitter about not somehow being able to control these puny minds that always seem to get the better of him. And I've met people like that, you know? And so that's an interesting thing, interesting area to play. And yeah, there's a deep world there if you want to explore it, and you can invent it, and you can, you know, travel in the places that people are expecting, and they gotta have what they expect, you know, in a movie like this. They gotta see the things that they grew up with playing, and it just makes them feel at home somehow. It's like coffee, brewed to perfection.
It's time to say goodbye to humanity. Welcome to the new norm.
Never gotten that deeply into it until I did the first film, and then I started realizing, oh my gosh, yes, there are so many characters in this game that they're going to actually exploit. And people just love seeing them, you know? As soon as Tails shows up, people cheer. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like buttons that get pushed. Robotnik has been marooned on the mushroom planet, and as a lot of society is now. He's been out there in his own little world, trying to make coffee out of mushrooms, trying to make souffle out of mushrooms, trying to make, you know, various dishes and recipes, and playing chess with himself, because it's the only worthy opponent he has in his own mind. And yeah, he's chiseled a rock that he named Stone, because whether he likes it or not, he is kind of attached to the guy, you know. He hates to say the word friend, but, you know, that would probably be the category Stone went into. He would say sycophant, probably.
Someone call an Uber?
It's cold in here. Let's turn up the heat.
Well, first he's got to get even. You know, every supervillain has to get even to begin with. They all start out with a chip on their shoulder, some reason they've got to use their history of abuse to become the abuser. And so vengeance is number one. Number two, of course, total world domination and the enslavement of mankind. That's one of his items on the bucket list. He does return, and he, well, we'll just I don't want to give it away, but vengeance is definitely the order of the day, you know, and it gets big. It gets very big.
I'm all powerful!
Because the mustache is a manifestation of Robotnik's ego, you know? The bigger the ego, the bigger the chip, the bigger the resentment, the bigger the mustache, you know? It's a status symbol. Wish I could put a racing stripe on it, you know? It is absolutely his power, like Samson's hair. Robotnik's mustache has become an outward manifestation of his megalomania.
Papa's got a brand new stash. Since I've been gone, I've discovered the source of ultimate power.
That sounds big. It's been on my vision board for years.
I think every relationship with Robotnik starts out as friction. Friction, challenge. Who is this person? What can they take from me? What can they give to me? How can I use their power? How can I be, you know, defended against this power? How can I dominate? His first concern is to dominate, you know. Certainly when he hears about the power of Knuckles, and then he hears that Idris Elba is doing the voiceover, it's a daunting task to dominate this character, but that's what he must do. He must use Knuckles' power to his own gains. And Knuckles is a reasonable person. You know, he's a ruffian. He's a warrior, but he has a code. And, you know, so he's surprised by Robotnik's lack of code.
Where are my manners?
Sonic, meet Knuckles.
Process is really kind of just rapid fire, try everything, give the director so much to work with, you know, so many levels of emotion, so many levels of cartoon, you know, some are fairly real, some are completely over the top, you know, so that they can make the music happen. And that's kind of how I feel about it. I love giving them lots of choices and doing a lot of takes, and I'll do them all night if they let me, you know, because I'm never satisfied, hardly ever. I generally look back and go, the second take. You know, you'll do like 30 takes and go like, oh, I had it on the second one. But, you know, you never know what you're gonna get. But when it's right, it's right. And sometimes on those later takes, you get one little snippet that's otherworldly because you're so tired or you're so out of your mind that you drop all pretension and you do something that you don't even expect, you know, and that's really fun, really fun.
We need to get it back or the world is doomed.
Comedy, if you stuck to the words exactly on the script and all of that, I mean, you know, there's not a ton of Shakespeare being written in comedy. It's just, you know, it has to live in the moment and it has to be spontaneous, and you'll get into the scene and something physically is completely different than how it was pictured in the script, and you have to assimilate that. You have to use the props, you have to use the set, you have to use the other actors, or in this case, no actor. Oh, Ben Schwartz, yeah. Perfect, beautiful. Talk about like a gift for improvisation and a youthful, you know, beautiful, exuberant spirit. And, you know, he's great. He was an amazing find. And yeah, he does a great job with it. And we're having fun. We're getting to know each other better and better. And that's kind of fun. Because I can, like, he calls me for advice and I tell him the wrong stuff. It's fun. Oh yeah, Leah's enthusiastic, for sure. But he's willing to go anywhere. You know, I mean, Robotnik is fairly abusive. And, but Leah's a really good dance partner. He's a really good dance partner. He just goes with it. And he's up for almost anything. In fact, I can't really remember anything I've ever said to him, like, why don't we do this, that he hasn't at least tried it, you know? And it's tough to be, you know, pulled around by your jaw, you know what I mean? But he's fantastic. And I do think people really like that relationship. There's this really lovely, you know, symbiotic relationship, you know, between me and Stone.
We stick together, no matter what.
You're unskilled, untrained.
We're seeing more of the characters now come to life. You know, we're seeing the war between the characters, you know, that were in the video game. And of course, Robotnik will always be the, you know, monolithic beast of need and hatred. But you know, it's wonderful to see all the other characters come to life, you know, and the relationship between Tom and Sonic gets stronger and more maudlin, and because people need that. They need it, but they're very nice. They're very nice people. Yeah, what's different? It just gets bigger and better, you know, and in this universe where all these superhero movies are existing and everything, I like this place, you know. I really like the world this Sonic character I was going to say inhabits, and I really like it. I think it's different and it's innocent and it's got all the special effects and all the wow, but it's also got this very light thing going on that's just kind of sweet and homespun, and the idea, you know, I sound corny, but the idea of families hanging out together and watching the movie and the adults having something that they can take away from it and enjoy my performance, as I, you know, I'm always saying 3 things at once. But, you know, that means a lot to me. You know, the first movie came out, had a short stint in the theaters, very successful, but then COVID hit, and it was a very important movie to people and families that they could watch together during that time, and I love that. That makes me really happy. I've had a long career, thank God, of these movies I've done reintroducing themselves to new generations of kids, you know, so I get, you know, a 50-year-old coming up to me telling me how much they love a certain movie, and I got a 10-year-old coming up to me and saying they've just started watching all of my movies, and that's an incredible blessing. I just can't believe it. It's what I asked for, what I asked the universe for, and I certainly got it. I certainly got lots of it, and I'm super grateful to have more of it with this film. You know, that this is going to be something kids are growing up with. It's a lovely place to be. It's a great place I inhabit in the world, and I'm super grateful for it.
Is how I roll.
Oh, great, the Winter Soldier. 音速小子2。
别忘了订阅我们的频道，打开小铃铛就不会错过任何精彩内容，随时上架。我们下回再见。